Katie was like, well, at least we tried. We came in with optimistic attitude. We tried to get you the proper care. I didn't want to make her feel bad, like, that she had wasted time, because that was actually a really good break in the entire investigation, because with her being a dub investigator for CPD, she got to see what really happened. When I got home, I uploaded a picture of the narcotic pain relievers, because I let everybody on Facebook know, my Facebook friends, they're Aspies. They're very smart. One of them is a practicing pathologist. He's got all these different degrees. He called it out before they did. He was absolutely right. He had been right all along. And the nurses at United agreed that he was absolutely right. That this is not indicative of a benign tumor. All these complications, yeah, benign tumors can bleed, but they don't cause all these other problems too. I take photographs of the blood work, and he says, oh, this is bullshit. This is not good. This is not normal. You see all those H's next to all the... He said, by itself, no, it may mean nothing, but with each and every one of them, all these different... It was a specific pattern. He says, you're going septic, Heather. I immediately remembered I had some Cipro left over from when they had wrote for Cipro and it didn't work for the pneumonia that I had the previous, like a year and a half earlier, and they switched me to something else that was a little gentler or something or another. Well, immediately I know I'm a MRSA carrier. I better get some antibiotic. Anything. I said, the pain pill isn't working. It's just making me sicker, which is odd because I hadn't had any in a long time. I hadn't had any pain pills since after the surgery, the ablation he gave me, 12 hydrocodone. They lasted almost the whole between the 2 weeks from the follow-up. I hardly took them at all. I took one, I think, the next day after the surgery, because they had me so over-medicated from the fentanyl, which I now think was probably a I already had the liver and kidney problems. I probably wasn't getting rid of the toxins from all that medication that they gave me. He says, Heather, this makes you a risk to go under anesthesia at all. And I said, that's probably why I had such a hard time under anesthesia. He says, that's absolutely right. He said, John said, I grabbed Cipro, I took it, and I took a pain pill and went to sleep. And I swear I noticed a difference. It's not about the pain. It was about this overall feeling of, just barely being able to breathe. I had no voice, almost no voice at all. When I'm trying to talk, it sounds like I'm screaming because I have to come up with so much energy to try to speak. It's a real struggle to speak. And my breathing got easier. It wasn't much, but it was something. And I sent Katie a text. And I said, Katie, the damn Cipro made more of a difference than the frickin' pain pill. I said, I took one of the pain pills when I got home that night, and I took another one in the morning, and then I got some relief. I wasn't even able to sleep. I was so uncomfortable. And I had her do pill counts. Because I said, I already know that they're falsifying medical records to make it look like I'm just drug sticking and that there's nothing wrong with me. And Katie's a counselor. She's a victim's advocate. She's a counselor, and she does criminal investigations. She's not a cop. She doesn't wear a uniform, but she's still an investigator under the criminal investigators at CPD. So you can't bullshit her. And I like that. I really like that about her. She's a real no bullshit person. And she's very grounded, and I can sit there and go off about something, and then she'll just sit there. Okay, and then I can, get level. So I really like her, you know, uh, her being non-reactive. Um, but, when she has something really concerned, she'll say, go to the ER. You need to call 911. I mean, she doesn't necessarily tell me to do that, but when she hears bullshit that's happened to me, she'll call it out and not make a big deal. It's not like I'm already complaining about it. So it's not like she's putting anything in my head. She's just saying, I don't like it either. She's basically agreeing that you're right. I don't like that either. Anyway, I immediately texted her. I said, John said this blood work is bad, Katie. They lied to me. That's why the nurse gave me the damn blood work. So that they sat there and heard me say that I had a friend who was a pathologist. I think they set the doctor up. I took another Cipro later in the afternoon on the next day, and I showed marked improvement after that. We went back into the ER on November the 19th because I only had 4 of the Cipro, and it made such a huge difference that it was definitely indicated that I needed more. Went into the ER. I called and I said, your patient's right says that I need to address concerns of safety with these people, and left a message. They falsified, they lied to me. The nurse set them up, gave me my blood work. I'm going to be picking up those medical records today. You guys have had a long history of falsifying medical records. I brought it up with your risk management. We get in there and they've circled the wagons. And oh boy. They basically said, you're not going to record your exams. They said, we have a policy that prohibits recordings. They hand me this policy. Katie looks up after it, after they leave. They call security. We're just sitting there talking. We had no idea they called security. They had us falsely arrested. Propaganda, smokescreen. Katie says, this doesn't prohibit you from recording them. This prohibits them from recording you. She goes out to do her own talking to them, and I wanted to catch their lies on audio. So I go out there. They know I'm recording everything. Oh, well, we don't want to talk about this. They come back in. I said, that you're sitting there telling me I can't have care unless I agree not to record the medical exam. You say you have a no recordings policy. This policy prohibits you from recording us. So what are the terms of my care now? She wouldn't shut her mouth and stop screaming at me long enough. And I'm talking about Beth Edson, the unit manager. Wouldn't stop screaming long enough for me to clarify that. Not going to answer any more questions. And I've got all that on audio. Marches out, tells security she could go home. Just flat refuses me emergency medical care. I had an armband on. I recorded me giving my list of serious symptoms to the triage nurse, whose notes are falsified. That day we went and got the medical records from November the 17th. They weren't even close to accurate. Said that I agreed with my disposition and that he went over all the results of the CAT scan and blood work, which he didn't. And that I agreed with the disposition, which I clearly didn't. I said, you're sending me home. The discharge paper said I was having a bad menstrual cycle. I can't have a menstrual cycle. So when I disagreed with him, he wrote me up under psychiatric issues argumentative, when they were just basically lying to me. Katie was like, what are they doing writing psych crap anyway? I said, it's a fraud scam. That's how they create an alibi for themselves. They're trying to make all this look like it's just all in my head. Because it covers up their healthcare redlining. They're not treating everyone. They're lying to people about what's really going on with them. They keep coming back in the ER. When they keep coming back with symptoms, they're saying, oh, it's all in her head. There's really nothing wrong with her, when there really is something wrong with the patient. And they keep doing all this fraudulent billing. And I'm talking about BJC Health System, Spoon Hospital Center, and the University of Missouri, the two hospital systems, and Family Health Center.